Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my Nancy Drew book lovers. All right, where where um where I do Nancy Drew, where I do book hauls, book reviews, physical and digital, and so much more. So we're doing a review of Nancy's Mysterious Letter. This is book number 8 in the original Nancy Drew series. This one does not have um, oh wow. Oh no. Oh Lord, no. Oh, look what happened. Look what happened. Oh my God, I was not expecting that. I should just do these for like just showing them. I should. Oh man. All right. So, yeah. Bad. It's look at that. It's bad. I had this. I think I know why. I've had this for like 6 years. I, my lord. Let's see here. Time to do a little bit of inspection. So yeah. So that right here. I don't know if that's the beginning of. I don't know if that is the beginning of the decay. I really don't know. But I have been just reading this as a digital edition, so I think this might be the beginning of my paper starting to decay. Alright, so moving away from that horrible thing, I don't want to touch the other books. So, Nancy's Mysterious Letter, this is the 8th book in the series, and this is about Nancy Drew trying to find another Nancy Drew by the name of Nancy Smith Drew. And we start off with it with a mailman called Ira. Let's see here. Nixon. Ira Nixon. Ira Nixon is 6 weeks away from retiring from the post office. And what ends up happening is Nancy, not quite realizing that she might be getting herself into a little bit of a trouble, invites Ira into her home to have some hot cocoa because it is freezing cold out. This is back when no rain, no snow, blah blah, doesn't keep me from my routes. Well, Ira is like the, if you have dedicated employee in the urban in the dictionary, Ira's face will be next to it. That is how dedicated he is to what he does. And what ends up happening is he ends up losing the last bit of his mail, and of course that's when Nancy discovers that she might be in a tiny bit of trouble. However, because of her name and also because of her reputation, she's already so far at this point solved 7 mysteries, so she's kind of famous now in River Heights. And she basically that's pretty much the only reason she doesn't actually get arrested. She is like, yeah, I need to find this other Nancy Drew so that she can know that she has an inheritance and all that type of stuff. And because the mail has already been opened by someone else, not by her, she doesn't get into any trouble. As somebody who used to work for the post office, I will tell you this. I have seen money in those, like the window, and I always ask myself, why in the world are you transporting, even if it's like a $5 bill, like why are you even doing this? Don't you even know there's people out there that will steal this stuff? Especially if they steal a whole batch of those, that's a lot of money that's being lost. So I was never comfortable around mail that had money in it. Anyways, but yeah, so if you do not open mail, if it's already been opened by someone else, and you pull out the letter, you're not going to get in trouble with the law. It is the person who opened it that's not addressed to them will get in trouble. Anyways, Bess and George team up with Nancy once again, And of course, they're trying to figure out where she's at. We also were introduced to Ned Nickerson, formally introduced to Ned Nickerson. He actually has speaking parts, because I think it was the Secret of Shadow Ranch was when Ned was mentioned, but Ned is actually formally introduced in Nancy's mysterious letter. This book, I have read this book like 4 times, and most of it has been, of course, digitally. And I have a Kindle. I also have a Kobo as well, but I do like my Kindle better because it's just easier to borrow, not just, well, Kobo's easy to borrow books, but I just feel like that the Kindle's just better. Anyways, so it is 20 chapters of Nancy trying to find this woman so she can get her inheritance. And Ira's brother wants the inheritance as well, and he's willing to do whatever he has to do to get this inheritance. And he's relying on his really good looks to do this. All in all, I enjoyed this book a lot. I really, really loved it. And this is just classic Nancy Drew, and it is just such a delight to sit down and read one of these books. I will say the only downside to the Nancy Drew books is that you get so wrapped up in the book that you soon find that you're done with it. So for me, I think this is like the 3rd Nancy Drew book I've read in a week, which is insane. But I borrowed from the library because I'm doing a lot of my reading of Nancy Drew from my library, which is always a good idea to always support your local library. And they finally had the Sign of the Twisted Candles. I got an email from them saying you can get it on your Kindle. But these artwork is just amazing. And I am going to be the first to say that the only downside of the Kindle is sometimes the computer does not register that, like I have all 12 of them on my Kindle. These right here are all library books. But if I scroll down, let's see here. If I scroll down, come on. Here's another Nancy Drew book, but I do not understand why this one and this one are not in the folder. And this one's also not in the folder either. So that is really annoying. That is really annoying. But I'm going to get every single one of these books as digital from the library, and then I will pick them up as physical editions. So, anyways, I give Nancy's mysterious letter 5 stars. Nancy, Bess, and George figure out everything, and everybody is happy. Nancy Smith Drew gets her inheritance that she's entitled to from England, and everybody's happy. Alrighty, and oh yeah, and Ira's happy too. Okay, so about the Sign of the Twisted Candles, I did read it like several months ago. And so the fact that the library had it to where I could actually check it out onto my Kindle is really great. And yeah, so I'm going to take a tiny little break from Nancy Drew, not too far, because I have these books for 14 days, and I'm going to finish another book that I'm currently reading, and then probably maybe like Monday I will start on the sign of the twisted candles, and all that. So anyways, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep reading your Nancy Drew books. Bye.